We are live.
Okay.
Feel free to start. Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to the second Avalanche Asia Hackathon project demo session. This is Chris from Dorahacks. Very glad and exciting to be here and host you guys here. This is a hackathon with a 5 million prize pool, which is great. And it is for all the participants to compete. And although I know it is very competitive, but we could actually see there is a lot of um, solid projects that thriving out from the Avalanche ecosystem. And we all know that right now the Avalanche ecosystem is one of the most fresh but potential with the huge potential because Web3 ecosystem right now in the crypto industry. So yeah, very exciting to see you guys here. And before we start, I want to thank James and Yao from KuCoin Ventures to be our judge today. Welcome you guys. And today we are very happy to have three amazing projects with us, which are BEPO Paradise, Emigro Finance, and Overnight. So without further ado, let's welcome the first team to present, which is the BEPO Paradise. Yeah, Chris, feel free to start when you're ready.
Hi. Okay. Hello, everyone. Is my screen shared? Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So our project is called PEPO Paradise. It's a cross-chain social pet metaverse around NFTs that you already own, with the free-to-earn mechanic built on Avalanche. So let me quickly show our video first. So it's kind of inspired by Animal Crossing, New Pets, and some other social games. So we have like a cute vibe and a sandbox mechanics to it. If I go to the deck, uh, okay. So a little bit introduction of myself and my team. I'm Chris from Finifugu Games. We are an established mobile game studio, previously developing mobile games. We were featured by Google Play Store and Apple App Store globally in more than 150 countries. These are some of the previous games that we've made before. The team consists of 12 full-time members distributed in different locations in the world, including places like Hong Kong, London, Italy, Thailand, and Taiwan. We have in-house technical lead, art lead, marketing lead, game designer, front-end developer, technical artist, animator, etc., etc. We have also won some game industry awards along the way from different places in the world, including places like London, Prague, Los Angeles, Hong Kong, Berlin, etc., etc. So we are coming to the blockchain space, especially Web3 NFT space, because we want to solve these two problems. First of all, the lack of use cases for NFTs. Certain NFTs lack interactivity and interoperability. Secondly, it's the N squared problem, typical scalability problem between end-to-end collaborations. We want to make sure that we can help everyone to reduce their integration workload in collaborations. So the vision for Public Paradise is that we want to be the gateway between NFT IP brands and metaverses. So with our cross-chain tech, NFT IP partners from different chains will be able to register as a PEPO, a term that we would like to use for Web3 3D pets. And once they're registered to this PEPO directory, they will be interoperable, which means they can be deployed on different games, different metaverse, etc., etc. And we provide 3D modeling services and animation services to our partners. So it doesn't only come. So when they register to Power Directory, first of all, it's on chain. Secondly, it comes with 3D model animation. So it's like one directory for everything, which the developers, users, the audience, the community can create community generated content. On top of that, PEPO Paradise is a metaverse, and we are introducing something called the feed to earn mechanic. So basically, all the PEPOs, the virtual pets that you deployed on PEPO Paradise, you can feed them and increase the bonding between you and your NFT pets. Once the bonding score gets to a certain point, the pets start dropping, tokens or NFT rewards for the players to collect and earn and trade on the marketplace. So what's the benefit of all this stuff that we're doing? First of all, for the players, they have additional return on their NFT investments because we're providing with the feed to earn mechanic for their existing owned NFTs. Secondly, more use cases for players' NFTs because we are categorizing them to an on-chain directory to be used in different games and metaverse. Thirdly, interactive 3D central hub for displaying their NFTs, and they can find places to use their NFTs within our ecosystem, also to places to get like cool new NFTs for them to own and invest. For our NFT IP partners, we create the NFT yield for them with a free-to-play mechanic, which means a direct value add to their NFT. Increasing use cases, which means higher trading volume, which means more royalties for them. Significantly reducing the integration workload because they only have to work with us once, and we'll manage the 3D model animation and register at one of the PEPOs to avoid them being individually collaborating with different metaverses or games. And obviously more exposure for our NFT IP partners. For metaverse partners, they have access to strong NFT IPs. They can enjoy free game contents that updates regularly as our ecosystem grows. Lastly, for PEPO Paradise, we have more significant influence in the NFT space, opportunities to incubate potential projects, and enlarge exposure audience pool and our active users. On the tokenomics side of it, we are running a multi-token system. So we have the main token as the PEPO Paradise token, PPP token, which will be the main token to be used in the marketplace. They can stake it for privilege in game and will be the governance and voting token. After that, we have two secondary tokens, the food token, PPF, and then the coin token, PPC. So these two tokens are the main secondary market tokens, which completes the feed to earn loop. So basically, the food tokens are the food consumed by the PEPOs, and the coins are the rewards that you get with the feed to earn mechanic. The coin token is kind of like an in-game currency where are being used for most of the in-game services, and to create in-game items or like to hatch more new PEPOs. The food token, you can acquire them through either farming in the game or like other in-game activities, for example, like complete daily quests, complete achievements, etc., etc. Lastly, we have NFTs in the game, including the PEPOs, the eggs, decorations, the land. These will mostly be tradable on the marketplace. A quick diagram of what's going on. So basically, you have the food here, and you feed the PEPOs. And the PEPOs, they will drop tokens for you to earn and collect. Sometimes they drop eggs as well for you to spend some coin to hatch it to get more PEPOs. We're also introducing something called the PEPO land, which the players can build their farm on it and farm for more food. Players can also stake their token on PEPO land in order to multiply the feed to earn mechanic so they can earn even more and progress faster that way. We are running a games as a service model. So basically, it is first of all free to play as long as you already own one of the NFTs that, one of our partners' NFT. And most of the revenue from PEPO Paradise comes from the services in the game, because we want to be the future pet provider in Web3. So service fees include marketplace service fee. We have the PEPO naming service (PNS), land upgrades, hatching fee, item crafting fee, etc., etc. We're also running a dynamic control on the treasury for the PP token. So basically, part of this service fee will goes into the treasury of the main PPP token, and the rest of them will be converted to PPC token and burn it to ensure that the secondary market is stable and sustainable. Competitors, we do not, I believe, from my understanding, we do not have like a direct competitor yet with our cross-chain technology in verifying NFT ownership. So we picked some similar games that are currently on the market as a comparison. My neighbor Alice, farming similar game, which also going for like the Animal Crossing 5, and Mobox, which they are trying to perform cross-game NFTs. However, in my opinion, their ecosystem is very enclosed, which their NFTs only works with their games, and their games can only work with their NFT. So it's not really open for everyone. Eventually, for PEPO Paradise, we want to build the ultimate pets directory, which is open to everyone. So we'll allow it to be open API, so everyone can even upload their pets or NFT pets onto PEPO Paradise and to be used in any game. And also, the directory will be open for all developers out there, so they can create games for NFTs that they love, or like they want to support for. So we are going to have the NFT land sale, and we have cross-game, cross-chain NFT. We're farming mechanic in the game. We're providing NFT yield with our feature earn mechanic. We already established some NFT partnership, and our initial market cap will be 390K, which is significantly lower than the other games right now on the market. I'm not sure if I need to go through. I'll skip the distribution, I guess. Actually, I'll just quickly go through it. For distribution of PPP token, we have 15% to the team, 5% to advisors, 10% seed in private round, 0.5 to public round, and the rest will be for ecosystem, marketing, rewards, liquidity, etc., etc. The token price at our IDO will be at 0.04. So let me quickly show you the roadmap. Currently, we have the website launched. We have the prototype complete. We also have seed round secured. We're open for a private round. We'll have a Genesis PEPO pre-sale in April, which will be very important for us because these first set of PEPO, which we call it Cheeks, will be the first ones to kickstart our ecosystem. We will be holding a closed beta launch to our early followers or our supporters in Q2 2022, and we will have our IDO and public round in Q2 as well. So in Q3, we'll have the open beta ready for everyone to try. And in Q4, we'll be having the public launch and the mobile app launch. So you'll be able to play PEPO Paradise on your device, on your phone devices. And in Q1, we'll complete the DAO system, and we're also supporting for AR and VR integration. So that's it. That's it for the pitch deck. I'll quickly show you our working demo. So this page here, you can access through the demo button in our website here. So the game runs on web browser right now. It is like on an internal test period right now. So in order to access to this demo, you will need whitelist access to that. So and a quick demonstration on the left, you see there are some carrots, right? This will be like your farm, so you can craft more farms and to plant more seed. Sorry, yeah, to lay more seed and to get more food. and this food will be used to feed your peppos, which the peppos, sorry, so the peppos will get you the tokens, if you can see on the land. Uh, hello, hello, hello. Do you guys hear me?
Yes.
Seems like it's kind of lagging on my
Yeah.
end.
Uh, the screen is kind of like lagging, but the voice is okay.
Okay, okay. What about, can I quickly stop my camera? I'll stop my camera. Yeah. So so sometimes they drop eggs as well for the players to hatch and collect. So like these, all these item on the screens, these will be all NFT, including the tents, the flowers, all the objects you place on the island, including the petals. So let me quickly log into my test account. So it's very straightforward. You have your NFTs in the wallet, right? So all you need to do is you just sign in. We will read the NFTs that you currently own, and we can display it on the land. So this is the demo. This is like a, island building demo that we have right now. So you can build your land as you wish, and then you can have your NFT pets in your inventory, and then you can just place them on the land, right? And this demo right now is for demonstration of the customization of the island, so we cannot show you the fee to earn or like other gameplays. But you can grab them around. You can throw them on different floors. You can place more. Oops. You can place different items in the game, basically. Yeah. So that's it for the demo.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, so thank you for the presentation. I actually see a question from the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Uh, so from Joshua, he asked, what inspired you to do the PEPO Paradise and why PEPO Paradise?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. So, from our team's track record, we are very proficient, and we are very interested in creating casual type of games. As you can see, with like too many cooks on the left, and Otter Ocean in the middle, and then we have the theme park island. So you can kind of see Pearl Paradise is kind of like a mix between a lot of them, especially with Otter Ocean, which was a game that we published. I believe it was last year. It is a pet management game, focused around the theme of otters, and the gameplay is more about collecting everything, and to finish all the collections, including the different collection of otters, and also like the decorations on the land. So we kind of inspired from there, and we really like pets, and we believe it will. When we believe pets can fit in a lot of different games. So and it also synergized with our mission on solving these two problems with the interoperability, right? So we know that okay, we can build a protocol to help with NFT brands and developers. um, However, we want to make sure that we start at like a medium level, so it is not like okay, protocol for all NFTs in the world, right? So we kind of want to categorize it as okay, we're starting with pets first, right? Because from our experience as mobile game developers, first of all, um, audience, our players love pets. Secondly, pets can exist in a lot of different games and metaverse. Like imagine like an MMORPG, you can have your pets, following you around. In Animal Crossing, you can have pets. In different metaverse, if you're shopping in metaverse, you can have your pets, following you. Right? There are a lot of different use cases for the pets, and it does not need to be directly affecting the gameplay. For example, like it gives you a boost, or like give you like extra attribute increase, whatever, right? Yes, it can work that way, but secondly, it's not necessary. Like pets can also be like like luxury accessory items that you wear in real life. And pets can be one of them in in the virtual world, but they are more advanced because they have like their fun interactions with them, and they have intelligence as well. Does it answer your question or like?
Cool. Yeah, I think so. And for James and Yao, let me know if you guys have any questions for Chris.
Yeah. Maybe let me shoot some questions to Chris first. And hey, Chris. Yeah, just I think you mentioned something related to sandbox, and just wondering, is your game built on the sandbox, or how does that partnership look
Okay.
like?
No, we have plans to build on the sandbox, but it will not be early in our roadmap. The image that I show for, I believe this is the image that you were talking about, right? This is just like a demonstration for demonstration purposes. They do not represent actual partnerships, but it is a demonstration of how PEPO Paradise can streamline the process between different games, metaverses, and in NFT brands, right? So for instance, for example, like if let's say for KuCats, right? For KuCats to work with, let's say, like again, like maybe like a first person shooting game, they probably need to, like, the way they do it now in the industry is that they kind of create another set of 3D NFTs to drop it to the user in order to use in one specific game, right? So what we do here is actually we want to make sure they are still using the same directory of ownership, but can be usable in a lot of different games. And regarding your question on how is the partnership, or like how does it work with Sandbox directly? So obviously we can help with building the experience for our NFT partners on Sandbox. But I believe Decentraland is like a better example. Like we can integrate with our directory of pets, and we can load all these um, pets immediately in directly into Decentraland. Like imagine like we can create a plugin, so maybe it's like it's like a Pokemon machine, whatever it is, for landowners to deploy on the land. And that machine grants functionality where, oh, anyone with like one of the peppos, if they visit your land, they can have like one of the peppos, showing and follow you, right? For instance, like that would be one of the services that we can provide. And for other developers, other games, we have an on-chain list of pets that they can utilize, and also comes along with the 3D modeling animations, which means they can, like, developers can really build anything with a lot of strong brands that are on the blockchain. Sorry, does that answer your question?
Yes, got it. That's pretty clear. And also, just want to learn more about the
Yeah.
studio, and I know you guys have a good track records, and just want to see, uh, can those existing games you guys
Yes.
have been
Yeah.
built or published bring traffic to the current game?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very like smart question, because we do have plans to do that, right? So um, I think let me show you um, last page. So I mentioned before that we have the first set of NFT sell to the public, which will kickstart the ecosystem, right? They are called Cheeks, which are called like Cheeks by PEPO. So this is the first NFT brand that we incubate within PEPO Paradise, and they will be the first ones to kickstart the ecosystem. So they later down the line will also be bringing on our existing mobile titles and turn them into IPs to launch on Power Paradise. So we want to make sure that the players understand, these characters are not just pepples, that they're cheeks, but they are like one of the pepples. So it's kind of like it's like a cat. Pepple is kind of like a category, which is for all the virtual pets. All the partners that join us are called pepples, but cheeks it's one of the brand. So we can definitely bring on other IPs that we currently own on the mobile space to bring more audience traffic to the blockchain. And there are two type of incubation within for our titles. First of all, again, it's like brands. It's like characters, incubating as characters. Secondly, we can incubate them as like games, right? So, for example, like this game called Me is King. It's like a caveman type of management simulation game where you can send your cavemen to collect food and resources to build your kingdom, right? So one way that we can do is we can incubate this as like a game which can utilize our directory of pets. So basically all we need to do is we just launch this game plus uh, an additional feature where you can have these pets you know feature in the game that are using the on-chain directory. So you immediately it's already more user friendly, or like it's more high interest from players who already own some NFTs on the blockchain, because they can see their invested assets to be used in different games. Sorry, does it make sense?
I see. That yeah, that's totally makes sense. And also, Amanda, what's the stage of game development at the moment?
Yeah. So right now, I believe we are still pretty early. We have the demo ready. It's functional. It runs on the browser smoothly, and we still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, because we want to make sure that um, the players can socialize on the game. Yeah, so we are still in the early stage. I would say the prototype stage of the development, and but we'll kind of launch it in Q3 to make sure that we constantly updating with additional features. So one I think believe one big thing in our roadmap is that we will be adding more kind of mini games within PEPO Paradise to add like a demonstration of how to utilize this pets directory. One thing that in our roadmap is called the PEPO Derby. It's kind of like a horse racing game where all the NFTs can join together and race for like a prize or something. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. My last question is, what's the total supply?
Sorry for interrupt. We need to
Oh,
save
yeah.
some time for rest of the team. So yeah, I need to stop here.
Great. So thank you everyone for your time. I hope that you guys like our project. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much, Chris, for the presentation. And also thanks, Yao, for all the questions provided for the PEPO Paradise team. And we're gonna invite the next team. Blake, are you ready? You unmute yourself, Blake.
There we go. Better?
Let's go.
Emigro Finance is the digital currency institution for global citizens. My background, I was a Canadian immigration consultant, and I helped many people move to Canada. I got to see many problems that they would encounter in their process. And as it relates to Web3 and DeFi, one of the biggest problems was a lack of funds to cover the cost of their migration process. To migrate as a skilled worker or as an international student, it often takes several years of saving and preparing, and then even the overall cost of the migration becomes very high, in the tens of thousands of dollars. How I arrived at DeFi is I looked at the different products and I could see the ways that they could provide advantages for the people. Stable coins, as an example, just going from many world currencies into a USD stablecoin is a great inflation hedge. Many people from different parts of the world would laugh at 7% inflation. And the first product that we are going after is the DeFi yield farming. So if you consider traditional investments where you're getting very, very nominal returns on your investments, the DeFi is offering, exceptional rewards. After that, we want to go after borderless payments and remittances, again, within the realm of the global citizens. And we're offering this in a service that is more familiar like Web 2, a managed investment service where we can reduce the risk of ruin for people and also make it feel more like traditional online banking, abstracting away a lot of the Web 3 unique issues. Migration is definitely a niche, but it's quite a large one, with 250 million global migrants currently and roughly 5 million new migrants per year. When I was helping people move to Canada, Canada itself is taking in 300,000 to 400,000 permanent residents per year, and then the United States is roughly 9 to 10 times that. So I'm going to show our demonstration product that we made in January, which was for the yield aggregator product.
It is like a video with the sound, because the sound of the video is pretty small.
It's low?
Yeah, the sound is pretty small, so I actually can't hear clearly about the description. Maybe you can add a caption here. Not
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, this is a product that we worked on in January, which is the first of the 3 that we would like to offer this year, is the Save product. Where we would like to go next is the Pay product, which is once you have your savings, rather than remove them out of your account and out of the Emigro system, we would like to have the payment services available directly, whether it's to your lawyer or for other upcoming Emigro software services. And then finally, and probably what might be the biggest portion, is the remit service. So this would be going after Western Union. Right now, we're going through the business model discovery process. So with the different products that we're offering, we have a number of potential options to monetize it. And so we're looking at existing DeFi products right now and what business models seem to be working and what don't work. And we will be making some decisions soon on that. In terms of going to market, the migration industry has a very large service industry built around it, whereas the people already trust these services. And so rather than trying to go heavily direct to consumer, whereas you're going to have to educate the people on not just why they should be using your service, but what is this service now in digital currency. And so we would go to the migration service providers and give them financial incentive, both through being able to receive payments more efficiently, and then also some incentive for using our product. And then they can do some marketing on our behalf, and as they are already having clients essentially pay for their education as it relates to their migration services. The team, there's 4 of us on the core team. We all met on Discord in December as part of another hackathon. We are all distributed, and we would like to add more to the team in terms of marketing, design, and legal in the future. Right now, we're seeking partnerships in the Avalanche ecosystem, and we are trying to find our way into a proper mainnet launch, and really, whether that's through Avalanche or Colony or a combination of the two. And we really liked also what Dexlot recently did with their CLOB. And currently, right now, we have Trader Joe integrated for the swaps on our back end, and we would like to do a deeper integration. In terms of the future, we are looking for launching the Save product in the first half of this year. And again, we're looking for strategic partnerships. We want to get a little further along, and then we will be looking to raise a pre-seed round. And for the future, we want to build other immigration-related services on top of this. As well, we're looking into a DAO model to help govern a little bit of the product roadmap, as well as to build out a community. So thank you very much. I'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blake, for a relatively short but very accurate presentation. And yeah, James and Yao, ask your questions if you have any.
Let me go real quick, because apparently I'm quite familiar with this industry, and I know Henley partner pretty well. I think they were one of the biggest immigrant provider or agency in the space, and I see that there's a pretty big demands, especially in crypto industry. People are seeking a foreign passports, and probably people are just too rich in this space, and I think the pain points in this industry, I think, is the how do you convert the either crypto to fiat or fiat to crypto, because apparently you need to pay those either the lawyers, the service providers with the fiat, because I don't think they accept crypto at the moment. And also for local governments, they only accept the fiat as the either for donation or investment. And I think that's the key pain points at the moment. And just wondering regarding your second products, the pay products, how do you guys help your customer to address those problems?
So right now, if you consider that a service provider is probably in the destination country rather than the country of origin of the person who's migrating. And so right now they're subject to bank transfers or Western Union, and this takes time. It's expensive. Often the sending institution cannot tell you exactly how much money will arrive on the other side, and this causes a little bit of a discrepancy between what the service provider is expecting to use. So I believe once we show these service providers that getting paid instantaneously in the exact amount that you're looking for in a stable coin would be significantly advantageous to the existing system. And I think, in the coming years, businesses are going to get crypto savvy, especially with the rise in stable coins. And yes, of course, there's still the off ramp back into fiat for settling for their business expenses and taxes and such. But this is all going to be going towards stable coins, I believe, for the intermediary work.
Okay, got it. And then for the first product, it's just like typical vaults in the space, right? You guys taking stable coins and put it into a yield generating protocols and just give your customers a product, right?
Yeah, that's the starting point.
Okay.
Right now, we're focused more on the market rather than the technology. The initial product is not novel. There are other competitors, but really what we are going for is specifically targeting a niche so that you have a known customer base rather than trying to be everything to everyone.
Got it. May I know on the supply side, apparently there's so many agency service providers in the space. How do you guys pick the right ones and for your customers?
So first of all, it's you want to go for the licensed service providers. That's the starting point. And then on that, it's typically the service providers that are within their first 3 to 5 years where they're really looking for customers and they're really looking for things to give their businesses an edge, compared to more established players. And so these are the types of service providers that would be more receptive to this type of service, I believe, in the beginning. And then once it gets some traction, then of course you're going to have the bigger players looking at, why are we losing business to these other ones?
Thank you, Blake. No more question from my side.
Yeah, I have a question. So, as far as my understanding is that you are going to do those kind of off-chain B2B marketing together with the migrant agency, right? So, do you need a license to do that because you actually offer this kind of financial advisory and financial recommendation stuff to the migrants, right? So, if you do it online, possibly you don't need this kind of license. But if you want to do it offline, would you need this kind of license to do that?
Yeah, we're looking at the different regulations both in the source and destination countries of our clients. Even in the United States now, in the state of Wyoming, they're being very progressive with cryptocurrency regulations, and they have a new structure for money service business that supports cryptocurrency. But rather than being a typical bank you have to be 100% backed. So we're looking into these things.
Okay, so if the regulatory framework is not very clear, would that be a kind of hurdle for your potential marketing efforts for your product?
Well, at the end of the day, the individuals are still making their own financial decisions through our product. So we are giving them the tools and they are making the decisions. So we're not acting as financial advisors other than we are offering a limited set of products. I don't see this being much different than the existing DeFi products with the existing set of regulations. So, of course, I think this year there will be many changes in the regulations, and we will have to pay close attention to that.
Okay, thanks. I don't have a question anymore. Thank you.
Yep. Totally. Thank you very much, Blake, for the presentation, and also thanks Yao and James. We're gonna move to the last but not the least project today, which is the
Overnight.
overnight. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Overnight.
Thanks, Chris.
Glad to see you guys here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Blake, again.
Yeah. Could you maybe tell me before I start, how do you prefer? Do you prefer a presentation or a live product? What's better for you?
We suggest you to do both. Maybe first a brief presentation, and then a brief product demo.
Okay, let me tell you a few things about our. So I share the screen. Can you see the screen? USD Plus Open Beta is now live.
Not really, not yet.
Oh. My apologies for that. I tried to share, unfortunately. Okay. Can you see now?
Yep, I can see it right now.
I apologize. There are some difficulties with the broadcast. Okay, so my name is Maxim Ermelov. I'm the founder of Overnight. Overnight is the protocol which is producing yield-generating stablecoin called USD Plus. So my background is in traditional finance. I've worked since 1999. I worked at JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and then I spent 17 years with the Boston Consulting Group. I ended up leading financial institutions service practice area for BCG. I worked in Paris, London, Singapore, and Moscow. I then, after 17 years, went to Stanford and wanted to change my life. And then I wanted, after Stanford, to work for myself. I started a company called Mac49, which was building startups for large corporations. We sold that business over a year ago. And as I'm financial specialist, I wanted to start something in fintech, something which I could do kind of globally day one. And that's how kind of I ended up with this idea of doing something in DeFi. And in DeFi, I thought that the best idea I could come up with was a stablecoin which would generate yield. The idea is not new, but actually I kind of came up with it by myself. As I was kind of looking for various ways to generate yield across DeFi space, it occurred to me I was wasting too much time on it. And as I'm very, very risk averse, I was doing a lot of research. And honestly, I thought, and actually was doing a lot of management. Honestly, I thought that it was not worth my time because I was looking for very low yield, but very low risk. And then it occurred to me that it would be great to have some sort of money market fund in DeFi space. And then I just realized that, according to SEC regulation in the US, there's this regulation that a unit of a money market fund should always be worth $1. And it occurred to me that a money market fund in DeFi would actually be a yield-generating stablecoin. And so the mechanics of the way we have built this product is exactly the mechanics of the money market fund, regulated by SEC. We have looked at stablecoin regulation, which is coming over. In particular, the European Union regulation, which is 2/3 of which is about stablecoins, and we realized that actually we built a product which is extremely compliant. And as this regulation comes forward in Europe, but we believe many advanced regulators like US as well, and many regulators in the emerging markets will actually be going in the same direction. And so we actually believe the regulation is going to benefit us a lot. So what is the product about? The product is about, so you buy USD Plus, it's pegged to USDC, it's always one-on-one. You can always mint and redeem one USD Plus for one USDC. And while you're holding it, it's generating yield. So we have been tracking our performance actually for quite some time. Although it's in beta, we've been kind of already playing a little bit with small amounts. And so on average, we've been able to achieve 10% APY return, but this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is actually this graph over here. We have been able to build a portfolio behind USD Plus, which is 100% collateralized by so-called DeFi assets, highly liquid and very low risk. And so if you look at this kind of performance distribution or daily performance distribution, you can realize that with the 10% expected APY, the probability of actually getting zero return is below 1%. So it's an extremely low risk portfolio, and you can always mint and redeem it for one USDC at any point in time. So it's designed to be low risk, high liquidity, and then generate some yield on top of it. Okay, 3 core use cases which we have got. One of them is so-called cash management. So people, at the moment, there is 180 billion stable coins outstanding. Probably our estimate only 40 to 50 billion is generating yield. So which means that at least 130 billion is not generating yield. It's stuck in centralized exchanges, it's stuck in wallets, and just people don't see a point to be doing all this yield farming, given how little how much research that requires, how much work staking and unstaking requires, how much you need to do to understand it, sell rewards, realize your gains, reinvest every day, and so people just don't do it. And so we thought that with more people, risk-averse people coming from fiat space into DeFi space, a product like this, so kind of a money market fund, lowest possible risk, would be something interesting for people who already understand how to buy a coin, but don't want to do all this yield farming. So cash management for traditional investors. Accidentally, what we have discovered is that very large funds, so funds which invest in, which have assets under management over 150 million, actually love this product, love USD Plus, because apparently by regulation, love it for cash management and liquidity management purposes. Because by regulation, they have to be with so-called prime brokers when you are above certain amount, and when you are with the prime broker like JP Morgan, those guys don't support yield farming. So they don't support liquidity mining strategies. So whatever complicated strategies you want to do, they don't support. You can only buy a token, and so it actually turns out that these large funds really love the idea of being able to buy an ERC20 token, which generates yield with their spare cash. So that's one use case called cash management. Second use case are the liquidity pools. So the first pool actually we are launching on Monday, technically with Balancer. So the liquidity pool, the idea of the liquidity pools is that at the moment, if you can imagine the USDC pool, it's typically generating fees which are very low. On most of the exchanges, that's below 1% APY. But most of the except Curve. And the rest is typically just rewards. So if you take image IMM like Balancer, for example, you will see that on a stable-to-stable pool, they will typically have 10% APY generated by rewards and below 1% generated by fees. But when you do a pool which contains USD Plus, on Balancer, that's so-called boosted pool, suddenly this pool starts generating fees, rewards, and also APY. So 10% APY coming from USD Plus. And it becomes way more capital efficient to do stable-to-stable pools outside of Curve of this type. And IMMs really like this product because they can either kind of generate more volume, more TVL with the same amount of rewards, or they can save rewards and generate the same amount of TVL. So basically, that's very interesting for them and allows us to provide distribution and also reach out to our clients. Last but not least is the so-called leveraged yield use case. And that's something which we are putting together with KDAO protocol and we'll call it My Finance. They somehow have two names. So basically, there are a lot of protocols, Magic Money, KDAO, Liquidity, some others who provide, give you an opportunity to obtain risk-free loans. So they give you the stablecoin, against the collateral which you provide. And so people are typically very concerned with the liquidation risk because if you provide ETH as collateral, there is volatility, you risk to get liquidated at the most point in time, and so kind of lose everything. But when you provide USD Plus as a collateral, there is no risk of, or like minimum risk of liquidation because we are a stable coin which is generating yield. We are pegged to USDC, so there's no volatility versus USDC. And so risk of liquidation is really, really small, only if our stable coin somehow majorly unpegs. So this allows actually people to generate, to kind of take, leverage of up to 9 times. And so this way, if you have kind of looking for very high yield, but don't need to be to have your investment very liquid, you can get like 9 times the 10.4% yield if you really want to. So these are the major use cases. This I have shown. So we have actually raised pre-seed in December. And our key shareholders are Hack VC, the guy named Alex Pak. He was the founder of Dragonfly. FG Labs, the best pre-seed investor in the world, not specifically in crypto, but just generally for startups. Sandeep Naiwal, who is co-founder of Polygon. We launched on Polygon, and we are currently want to expand multi-chain. Depending, choosing between Avalanche, Arbitrum, and Phantom. So another guys, Brian Tubergen, the co-founder of CoinList, Ryan Selkis, who is the founder of Misari, and Paul Holland, who is next GP of Foundation Capital. We've been audited by Hacking, and we're currently partnering with Polygon and with Balancer for what we are doing. We really look to find right partnerships with the next chain, which we are going to, and we hope we will be able to get right partnerships with Avalanche and prioritize it as our next chain. Let me quickly show you how the application works. My apologies, because of the issues with broadcast, I will not be able to show you the transaction because I can only broadcast Chrome. but my wallet is connected to Brave browser. And that is why I apologize, I won't be able to show you live transaction, but essentially this is like the traditional swap mechanics. You can swap USDC for USD plus, and you can swap it the other way around, any point in time, USD plus for USDC. You can track your performance over here. So there is a daily payout on every day. And so, like, for example, this morning, every holder of one USD plus received 0.00177 cents, which was 6.6 yield. On average, recently yields have come down, but we are working to bring it up. And so you can also everything is on chain, so you can track what your portfolio is backed up with. So you can see what the assets are, and at the moment the yield is generated by Aave and Stable and Izumi. And so the way it's designed is that this is number of USD plus in circulation, and this is the value of collateral. So all the assets which we have got, and it's designed in a way that net asset value is always equal or slightly above the number of USD plus in circulation, so that we're at least 100% collateralized at any point in time. If I had the Brave browser connected, I would now conduct a transaction, mint or redeem USD plus, and you would see how these numbers go, because when we mint, automatically USDC invested are distributed across this investment instruments, and according to the preset criteria. And whenever I redeem, they're withdrawn proportionally from these assets, from these instruments. So at the moment, we are thinking that by the end of March, we will have the lead or two co-lead investors for our next round, which we plan to close in some time in the first half of April, having in mind that we intend to conduct the ICO or IDO at the end of May, maybe early June. So that's the plan, and by that time, actually, we want to be on multiple chains. So at the moment on Polygon, but we want to go Avalanche, maybe Arbitrum, Phantom, and it's very important for us to go to Ethereum, which we also plan to do sometime in May before the public sale. In terms of the governance, an important thing is they have decentralized governance. And so the investment instruments which are determined over here are going to be voted by people who stake our governance token as insurance against losses of this protocol. So in order to be, so people have incentives not to lose money, and they will vote in a way that they will have incentive to stay extremely, extremely careful. So as I said, we are in beta at the moment. The first liquidity pool with Balancer goes live on Monday. A commercial launch will be in 1 week. So there will be additional incentives offered by Balancer, and there will be advertising campaign. And then right after that, we launch our next round, and we go to the next chain, which we want to pick out at the moment. With this, I will be very happy to answer all your questions.
James, your time.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, James. Hi.
Okay, that's great. So, would you mind just clarifying about your governance token a little bit? You said that the people need to stake the government token in order to compensate or have the compensation potential losses of the protocol. Is that right?
So at the moment, we have our governance token. So in order to implement any changes to the protocol, in particular, to change weights of additional of the existing investment instruments, or add or eliminate in investment strategy, the governance vote is required. but we believe that once we become more decentralized, if we allow the community simply to vote which protocols, which investment strategies to deploy, the community will be very pro-risk. Yeah. So they will go for highest APYs and they will not care too much about risk because they will just be able to. So that is why we have designed our governance to be implemented in a different way. So we will kind of distribute our tokens in a decentralized way, so become as decentralized as possible. But people who are allowed to vote on the investment strategies will be only those people who stake our governance token for a prolonged period of time in exchange for return, like insurance premium return. So they will be risking the value of the of our governance token, and only they will have the right to choose or vote which investment strategies should be deployed to back up USD Plus. Have I answered your question?
Yeah. More clear. So another question is that I have is that I don't see any place that the product can make revenue on all the investment strategy. Is there a source of revenue for the product itself?
Source of revenue for us, for the protocol. Yeah. So there are three revenue streams at the moment. Maybe we'll find more, but at the moment there are three revenue streams. One revenue streams is that we charge 4 basis points on meet and on redeem. But that revenue goes to the holders of USD Plus. It doesn't come to us. So when there are a lot of people kind of investing into USD Plus, the returns become disproportionately high. So that's one. Second, we charge 50 basis points annually. So kind of every day we charge 50 basis points divided by 365 for manage of the amount of collateral. So essentially of the TVL in the protocol, we charge for our services. So that's the fee, which is the main revenue source for the protocol at the moment and going forward. We chose 50 basis points. It seems low, but it's in line with kind of money market price, with money market fund pricing in the fiat space, and we believe that going forward there will be convergence between fiat and DeFi, and so we actually believe that 50 basis points is quite on the high side in terms of the pricing. Last but not least is the insurance product, which is going to be the revenue source. So the way the insurance will work is that a lot of investors actually are concerned about, in particular, operational risk, like that one of the protocols will get hacked, which we invest into, and they want insurance. And so they are prepared to sacrifice part of the yield in exchange for insurance product. And so at the moment, the way we see it, and we need to experiment and find the right pricing, but at the moment we see it like they are prepared to pay up to 1/3 of the yield, so like around 3% annual of APY for the insurance product. And we believe that out of that, out of 3%, roughly out of 3%, 2.2 will be spent on insurance, and the rest will be margin.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this margin we will retain. So this insurance product, on one hand, allows us to kind of improve the governance and make us more risk conscious. Kind of, we have this risk first approach. But on the other hand, it's also a major revenue source for us.
Yeah, understand. Great.
Yeah, okay. Let me jump on some question. Hey, just want to see from your standpoint, you see USD Plus more like a stable coin or like more like a money market bonds? That's two different stories.
On one hand, it's two different stories, but on the other hand, it's the same story. It turns out that in DeFi, it's the same. So, but what I want to tell you is we are not about yield farming. So we are not about getting high yield. The core use case is that you have stable coins somewhere in the centralized exchange or on your wallet or in a centralized exchange, not working. Like over 100 billion of those is not working. For various reasons. Maybe you don't think ETH is going to grow for the next month, so you exit your position and you temporarily keeping it in cash. You don't want to go off ramp. Maybe you just like stable coins, or maybe you have problems kind of getting off ramp because you don't want kind of a taxable event. Whatever. But the core use case is managing the liquidity. So kind of buy stable coin. You already know how to buy stable coins. You are sure this is not a risky product. You can convert it into cash at any point in time, and you're also getting some yield on it.
I see your point. My point is, if it's a money market balance, that the value, the face value of the USD plus should increase generally, right? Let's say at the end of the year, the face value might increase $1.1 if the
no. I forgot to mention that. So we're using rebase, and that's for this. So we're always at $1. And also the way money market funds are regulated in the US, that's what I started with, is 1 unit of the money market fund should always be $1. That was the insight behind creating USD Plus. And the way they achieve it, like, the Fidelity or Vanguard or like guys like that, the way they achieve it is that the collateral behind the money market fund, or in our case USD Plus, should be extremely low risk and extremely liquid. So they would typically invest into like US treasuries, repos, all short-term, like 30 days, 60 days, or something which does not lose face value on a one-day horizon. And so through this conservative approach, the value of the collateral in the money market fund would never go below par. So this risk approach allows you kind of to protect from depegging down.
Okay.
And depegging up is avoided by daily profit payout. So whenever assets kind of go above par, money market funds and ourselves, at the end of the day, we must pay out that P&L. We must pay out that profit. And that's why we're always stablecoin.
What's the payout assets? Because in DeFi, there's some farm may paid out in their native assets, and maybe some of those paid in stable coins. Will you guys convert it to stable coin, or just keep it?
So our portfolio, so the collateral runs no exposure to crypto, only stable coins, so no volatile assets, and we deploy typically 2 types of strategies, all on chain. So it's all protocols, no humans are involved. So we employ lending strategies. So guys like Aave, and that's not kind of big deal, but that's important because those strategies allow not to incur any costs entering those strategies or exiting those strategies. But we also deploy strategies, so-called stable-to-stable liquidity pools. So we provide liquidity. In particular, Izumi is a protocol which allows to provide liquidity into Uniswap v3, and their underlying exposure is USDT liquidity pool. So with no or like very minimum impermanent loss risk, that's actually a very stable asset. And with all the rewards, you can actually get to 12-13% APY on Izumi. Same goes about mStable. Same goes about some of the pools which exist on Curve. Only lending strategies, stablecoin lending strategies, and stable-to-stable liquidity pools. That's what is behind the protocol.
Okay. Yeah. The point is, let's say a balancer. If you guys have a pool over there, and some of those pools are actually profits are paid in balancer token. Apparently, there maybe in the future your treasury, the collateral may have assets like balancer token. Will you convert it to stablecoin, or just leave it and pay to your to the redeem?
So there are 2 things. One thing is our collateral, and it's deployed. It's not deployed on balancer for various reasons. So we deploy on Curve, we deploy Uniswap, we deploy mStable, and some others. And the other one is how we distribute, because we are not just a money market fund, we're also a stablecoin. So we actually can establish our own pools, which are not part of our collateral. We are going to have a pool actually next week, which is going to be USDC, USDT DAI versus USD Plus. And so that's like the best possible distribution for many people. It's great distribution for us, and it's great investment for people who are used to kind of investing via balance into stable to stable pools.
Okay.
So that's there are two types of pools which we are deploying.
I see. Yeah, my last question is, I think that's probably the most important factor for a stablecoin is how do you guys find the I would say the use case of your stablecoin? How do you find the demand side, and how do you expand that?
Yeah, so as I said, there are three use cases. One is liquidity parking, like liquidity management, cash management. And there are two types of customers over there, actually very small and very big ones. At the moment, at the beginning, very big ones are actually the most interesting. As I said, funds which exceed $150 million in assets under management who invest in crypto, they typically required to deploy prime brokers like JP Morgan and via prime as their custody by regulation. And so typically prime brokers, they will support ERC20 tokens, but they will not support any yield farming DeFi strategies. And so actually these large funds, they love the idea of USD Plus because by buying ERC20 via their prime broker, they're able to get yield on their liquidity in a low risk, highly liquid way. And so to get to those customers, we have a specialized ex-banker, actually very experienced person who moved from traditional finance into crypto, who is based in the US, who is currently kind of going to all these prime brokers and large funds, kind of pitching USD Plus. Second is for these liquidity pools. At the moment, we are deploying liquidity pools on Balancer, on mStable, and we will deploy on other partners who support rebase tokens and who agree kind of to collaborate with us. In particular, we'll also deploy on Curve, very importantly. In particular, we'll do that after our public sale because we'll be able to provide rewards. But in the meantime, we go to specialized kind of funds in a B2B manner, making special deals that they kind of seed those pools in exchange for APY, which we provide, and some rewards which we are providing to them. So with this, we are actually hoping to get to the critical mass, put our product on the shelf, and the shelf in our case is really all these decentralized exchanges. So we put our product USD Plus on the shelf over there so that people start using it and realize that, it's better than USDC. It's like as good as USDC, but it's better because it's generating yield. So that's our distribution strategy. And by making these deals in a B2B manner with all sorts of specialized DeFi funds, we're getting to critical mass over there. Last but not least is the idea of leveraged yield farming for people who want high yield. For those purposes, we are partnering with KiDAO MyFinance. So these are the guys who provide interest-free loans against collateral. So they will open vaults for USD Plus, so people can get leveraged yield. So 10% we are generating, you actually make 9 times that if you leverage it. So that should attract very aggressive yield farmers into the protocol. So once these 3 use cases across multiple chains are deployed, we will be looking kind of to make it more mainstream, kind of try to find partner with guys like Zerion, partner with guys like Zapper, and maybe with some neobanks. But that's the future. That's really the future. At the moment, we are focused on, as I said, prime brokers, guys like IMMs, Balancing, Curve, mStable, and KiDAO, Magic Money, kind of all those interest-free loan providers.
Got it. I mean, may I ask what's your strengths or what's your strategies to bring the supply side on board, especially those big monies, institutional monies sitting in the prime brokers?
With the prime brokers, as I said, it's actually very, very interesting story because a lot of large funds who really understand DeFi, maybe better than us, they cannot do DeFi. That's really kind of the controversy. They understand how to do yield farming at scale. They have huge amounts of money, probably the most professional people in the world. They cannot do it because once you're too big, you must go via prime broker, and prime brokers will support ERC20 tokens, but they will not support yield farming strategies, just because they're not set up for that. Like staking, unstaking. They just see too much risk in allowing the trader to manipulate all these transactions, and they just prohibit it at the moment. So if we can package DeFi into an ERC20 token, it has become extremely interesting for these large funds to deploy their spare liquidity into those. Because suddenly they understand what we are doing, they have money, and now they have the possibility to actually deploy that cash into yield farming strategies via their prime broker. So that's really kind of big strength for us at the moment.
Okay. So are they buying the token or just or mint using their USDC to mint it? What's the process for them? So for those prime brokers, are they just buying USD plus, or they mint them themselves?
It can be both. So you can deploy USDC to mint, but actually I think that will be not allowed by the prime broker. They will have to go via a centralized exchange or decentralized exchange.
I see. Okay.
But the prime broker, the thing with the prime broker is that essentially it acts as a custody, like traditional centralized custody, and that custody only supports an ERC20.
Got it.
So that is why. And by the way, we obviously also look to partner with a centralized exchange. So KuCoin is a very good name for that purpose. But we need to still do some research in terms of how that can work from the legal perspective, and what is the right way to partner with the centralized exchange for our stablecoin. Can we list USD Plus and kind of people who kind of your customers who buy USD Plus, for example, on KuCoin, do they get the yield? And do you avoid, and is that not considered a security? There are two different legal opinions whether that's a security or not, and we can debate about that. Or maybe, and that's something we are discussing with Ascendex at the moment, maybe the best way is actually have kind of separate the principal of USD Plus and the yield it generates. And maybe if there are some trading pairs like ETH USD Plus on an exchange like KuCoin, maybe the yield should go to your exchange. So kind of people buy USD Plus, they use it for trading. Maybe it's kind of fee-less trading, so kind of zero-fee trading. But then, like Robinhood is doing, but then KuCoin gets all the yield we're generating in exchange for providing this kind of zero-fee trading capability.
I see. Okay.
But that is something to be explored. It's a very complex topic, and we haven't even touched on it yet.
Yeah. I'm quite curious about.
Sorry for interrupt, guys. I think the time is kind of over. Here is kind of last for too long, and I believe if James and Yao, if you guys want to talk more with overnight team, we could definitely connect with you guys on Telegram, and probably you could like have more detailed discussion there. But we have to end the live stream here.
Yeah. Let's schedule another discussion after demo finished.
Yeah, I will put in the chat my Telegram if you wish.
That's great.
So it's at WMermers, and with pleasure would continue our discussion at your convenience.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Yep. That'd be great.
Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
James, nice to meet you.
Yep. Thanks for all the presentation and also the showcase from our 3 amazing project teams. You guys absolutely did a very good time and showed some very interesting schemes about what you guys are trying to do right now upon Avalanche ecosystems. And I believe the whole session is really helpful for all the Avalanche users and ecosystems judges to see like the innovations in the Avalanche happening right now. So it is really exciting for us to like see this kind of the phenomenon. And hope you guys keep building and keep doing a great job in the future. Special thanks for James and Yao to ask some very high quality questions during the session. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, and for all the audience, if you haven't follow Dorahacks on YouTube and Bilibili, make sure you do that so you won't miss out any of the upcoming event like today's. And I think that will be it for today. Thank you guys very much again for all your time and patience. Yep.
Thank you guys.